Hey everybody, I'm Trish Christ. In this episode of Our Nashville, NECAT and our super crew of teenagers spend some time with Austin and Kenny and the team at Rocketown. They are going to show and tell us all the cool things they do in our community.
Cool. Let me show you guys around.
Awesome. This way?
Yeah, let's go.
It's our Nashville. It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville. It's our Nashville.
We all know how to talk about our organization during meetings, but what about the chance encounter of a lifetime? You never know who may share your next elevator, notice your logo on a notebook or a tote bag, and ask what you do. What's the clearest, most persuasive thing you can say in a short elevator ride?
Well, Rocketown is downtown. We're an attraction-based outreach program where we try and get kids into the venue, whether it's concerts, skate park, coffee bar. We've got open mic nights. So if you just want a place to hang out and feel like you're a part, Rocketown's a place for you.
What would you say to an adult?
An adult, look, we are an attraction-based ministry that we try and connect relationally with kids to dig into their lives to find out what those needs are and find out how we can best meet those needs. So if it's an emotional need, if it's a spiritual need, if it's a physical need, we try and discover what those are so that we can help meet those.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, Kenny.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good, good. I suspect that there are a lot of adults who were in the same boat as me. I'd heard of Rocketown for a decade, 15 years or more, and I kind of knew where it was, but I hadn't been there. And while I suspect, well, I know droves of teenagers hurry through your door every day, but I bet you don't get grown-up traffic the same way you do young people. So I want your help in giving viewers a picture of what it is. Describe for us, if you will, the magnitude of your complex and what you see when you walk in the door.
All right. I guess a term that we use around Rocketown amongst our staff is we are an attraction-based ministry. So what we do is we try to develop things that kids want to use and hang out and things like that. So we have a concert venue, a skate park, coffee bar. We do a lot of different things. So we have a sound studio, and that's in part of our after-school program. And all those things are just a way to attract kids so that we can develop relationships with them ultimately. And so although we are attraction-based, we're really a relationship ministry, and so we try and connect with kids relationally. So when you walk in the doors, you're going to be greeted by staff. You're going to see kids. They could be playing ping pong, playing video games, maybe recording music in the sound studio, maybe in the skate park. They're going to be all over the place doing a lot of different things, and that's by design.
What part of town are you in?
We're in downtown Nashville. So we're located on 4th Avenue. Our second location downtown, we were on 6th Avenue when the convention center was built. We were moved just a few blocks away. And so we're on 4th right there in the heart of downtown.
And that is no small facility.
It's not, no. We're a large facility. We have, like I said, an indoor skate park. We have an outdoor skate park, basketball court outside, 2 different concert venues, main venues, some smaller venues as well. And so it's a fairly large complex. We're on 3 acres in downtown, which I guess nowadays is almost unheard of.
It is.
Especially an outreach ministry to be down there. But yeah, that's where we are.
Why did you want to be downtown?
You know, part of the reason is we wanted to attract kids from all over Middle Tennessee. And so the original model was placed in Franklin, and we served a lot of kids in that area. But it closed down for a period of time, and then we relocated to downtown, really being intentional so we could draw kids from all over the city, and we do. Kids drive in from as far out as Cookeville, Hendersonville, Clarksville, Columbia. They drive up, so all over Middle Tennessee, as well as kids from right there in Nashville.
I didn't realize that. I thought your answer was going to be we wanted to be close to the downtown schools. But that's cool that you're drawing young people from all these other communities outside of Nashville.
Right, so the largest thing that we do as far as just straight kids coming through the facility are the concerts. And so we try to attract kids from all different sorts of music, and so we don't lock into one type music. I mean, we try to, you know, whet everyone's appetite, so to speak, just to get them in the building. And for that reason, I mean, for concerts, we have kids come from out of state. I mean, they'll drive in from
Wow.
Bowling Green and, you know, and then all the way down in Alabama, they'll come up for certain concerts. And really depends on the band. And some surprise you, some bands you may not have ever heard of, and I certainly haven't heard of. They were YouTube sensations, and we'll have 400 or 500 kids show up.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
That's cool. Music, I'm guessing, was also part of the heart of the founding of Rocketown. Tell us about your founder and how the idea came to pass early on.
Right, so we have two main founders. The one, of course, is Michael W. Smith. He's a Christian artist. He's been singing, oh man, since the 80s, and been very successful. And so his heart was to start something in Nashville that could serve the kids and serve the community that he lived in. The concept of Rocketown has changed a little bit over the years from the original vision. It was first a teen dance party. It was a dance club for kids, and that's the model that was down in Franklin. Wasn't really accomplishing what he intended to accomplish, which was be a safe place for kids where we could really develop relationships. Because kids were showing up and they were dancing, having a good time, and then they were leaving and we weren't really connecting with them. And so the model was changed a little bit. The reason the model was changed is Columbine happened in Colorado. And so at the time, President George H.W. Bush called Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant. They flew out and did a concert in Colorado, and while they were together, he reapproached the vision of Rocketown with President Bush and explained what it was conceptually and said, if there was a Rocketown here, this may not have happened. And so they raised some money and started the first location down on 6th Avenue.
Wow. So we touched a little bit on the magnitude of the complex. I think you are 40,000 square feet.
We are.
Enormous. Let's talk about the magnitude of the number of young people who come through your doors. Do you know how many teenagers participate?
Yes. So the after-school programs, we serve roughly 200 to 300 kids depending on the month. So in December, of course, we had the holidays and we were out of school quite a bit. But during that time, the after-school program served 220 kids. And so that's roughly 3 weeks of service time. And during that time, we have kids come in and we have a film club. We have a music studio where we not only allow them to record, but we teach them how to record and teach them how to edit their own music. We have a tutoring lab. We do art classes. We do something we call Wisdom and Eats, where it's really funny. It's a cereal day. It's on Wednesdays where we have cereal, and the kids show up, and it's really just a small group where they sit and talk about their day and talk about issues that they're dealing with, and we have a counselor and some volunteers, and we just enjoy time together with them.
Nice. Did I see a dance studio?
We do have a dance studio. We have dance lessons and dance classes 3 days a week. We have a breakdance competition that's actually known worldwide. It's coming up here pretty soon, so we have it annually. It's called Bashville, and we'll have breakdancers come in from all around the country as well as other countries. They fly in, and it's a pretty big deal.
Tell me how skating fits into the complex. I've seen the room. The room is enormous. Your skate room, your skate park, I guess is the right term for it, is really impressive. Was that always part of it from the beginning, or was that added when you moved to the downtown?
So part of the design of Rocketown was to focus on kids that were falling in the cracks, that were not really being served in one way by traditional sports. So we focused on skating, and which is now skating, scooters, BMX bikes, rollerblades, and they're all in the park at the same time. And so, you know, we might have 30 or 40 kids skating in the park at one time, and they're all on different modes of transportation. It's pretty unique, and it's fun to watch, and it's great. Skating now is more mainstream than it was when we first started. A lot of that is due to like the Shaun Whites of the world that have gone to the Olympics and things, and the Olympics has picked up skating. So it's a little different than it once was, but back then it was really designed to go after non-traditional athletes and kids who may not fit into the traditional model of baseball, football, basketball, those things.
That's great. What ages are the young people that you work with?
So our focus area is junior high and high school students. The skate park does allow kids that are a little bit younger and a little bit older because we're the only indoor skate park in the Southeast right now. And so we don't want to close our doors to kids that are passionate about skating because it's something that we're excited about and we like having them in the building. That being said, our main focus is junior high and high school students. So the after school and the in-school clubs that we have, they're all geared at middle school and high schools.
My name is Austin Fuller, and I'm the Program and Marketing Specialist. I've been in film for a while, and it's a great way for kids to learn to express themselves through different forms of media. Being in Music City, music is obviously has a very predominant force in this town. And so film is just another way that kids can learn to explore their creativity. I got started in film when I was in high school, so all the kids that I deal with are in high school now. And I remember being able to make those films and be able to express myself and find other ways to, whether it was write or whether it was sitting down and spending 10 hours trying to edit this project that I've been working on. They get to experience those different forms of media that may not be as emphasized like in other places because we are in Music City. But film is also one of those interesting things where if you have someone write, then you have someone direct, you have someone produce. There's so many different parts to it. You can also have someone who wants to do music. They can write a score for something for a video, or they can you can have a graphic designer come in and just make some designs to go in and out of the video. So it's just, it can tie in so many different things that we try to keep everyone to collaborate and to make one final product that everyone can really be like, hey, I did this really cool thing at Rocketown. We were all part of this really cool video. Recording studio is definitely one of our bigger draws. There's always people in it all the time. Whenever you hear kids hear that, oh, there's a place at Rocketown, they have this free recording studio, you can go in, they have professional engineers there that will help you and help you make beats or write music or make you sound, like however you want to sound. And they'll also help you in the writing process. And so it's a really cool atmosphere. And then to see kids that just come in and completely blow you away. Like we have kids that I swear will be the future of hip hop. I mean, it's just gonna happen. And to see so much talent be created in such a small space, and to think that like, man, I'm not doing that, but it's these kids that have these fantastic musical abilities that we then get to pour into and then expand upon. Concerts are definitely have always been a big draw for us. That's kind of how I got started here. I grew up at Rocketown as a kid. Partly because of the skate park and mostly because of the music venue, right? When I was a kid growing up in Nashville, there was not nearly as much to do then as there is now. So you would get out of school and you come hang out in Rocketown. You'd go see a show. You'd see whoever was playing. Tonight we'll have 250 kids just come in and hang out, listen to some music, which is great to have so many. When you think about a concert, it's so fascinating because you have so many different groups of people that come and meet under one roof for one common purpose. And there's very few other times in culture where that actually happens. So it's interesting to give a place where we are completely all ages. We have security. We have, we don't serve alcohol. We're no drugs. So it's definitely a safe place where parents feel like they can bring their kids to, which is definitely something that we like to thrive upon and really push. We try to meet everyone where they're at. So whether that means they're coming here for a show, whether that means they're coming here for the skate park, or they want to learn how to make music, or they just want to come and hang out, have some coffee and do some homework. We try to meet them where they're at and then bring them in through that way. Family dinner happens once a week, Thursday nights at 6:30, generally catered by a local restaurant around Nashville. And we'll have anywhere from 60 to 100 kids come. Which is one of those things where we try to be the place of peace, purpose, and possibility. That's our vision. And so we try to be the place that kids can come, feel like they have a purpose, and then show them possibilities, right? But now we're trying to reinforce the idea of you're a part of a community now. Whether or not you have one at home, whether or not you have one at school, here you're part of a community, you're part of a family. And it's a place where they sit down, we get to talk a little bit about real issues. We're talking about poverty, we're talking about all these different hard topics that kids have to come to term with at some point. And so we're giving them a space where they can open up, feel safe, and then maybe we can make a little bit of progress in whatever direction need be. What do you like to do? We'll find a way to help you do that, right? We try to dabble in anything that a kid is going to be interested in, right? So that'd be music, the obvious ones, music, dance, graphic design, film, those are easy. But if you have a kid that's into anime, or if they're into, comic books or whatever it may be, what are you interested in? Great. Let me try and be a part of that too. How can I get involved with that? We have a space for you. You can come and hang out. Maybe you're not interested in these things. Maybe you will be at some other point. We have tons of things that you can get into. We have things that may not interest you now, but may interest you later, you know? But at the end of the day, it's a fun place to come and hang out, no matter what, whether you're doing homework or you're writing a new song, so.
My name is Imani Miles, and I come to Rocketown to do music production and to just learn new things every day. First time I walked in the door, I was a part of a thing where they do poetry and they have open mics and stuff, and I kind of came with those people here, but then afterwards everyone was super nice, so then I kept coming back, and I started to hang out and interact with people more. I would say that this place is a really cool place to hang out if you want to meet other creative people or other people that can have creative conversations with you. If you want to learn something new or do something new, it's a pretty good place to be and hang out and experience and stuff. Yeah.
When you talk about the ministry aspect of Rocketown, let's dig a little deeper there. What if a young person is not Christian and still wants to have friends and learn things and do things? Is that okay?
Absolutely. And so our doors are open to everyone. In fact, we encourage everyone to come in. Yes, we're a Christian-based ministry from the inception until the day is until the board changes that mission, which I don't anticipate that ever happening, right?
Right.
And so our goal is to really love people with the love of Christ. What does that mean? That means something different to everyone. For us, what that means is we accept you when you walk in the doors. We don't care what your beliefs are. We don't care about your preconceived ideas about us. In fact, what we want to do is prove to you that the love of Christ for us means we're just going to love you and provide for whatever your desires are. And so if that means anything that we're doing with the arts, anything that we're doing with music, with skating, if we can help connect you and help you achieve things in those areas, that's what we want to do. So, we understand that there's kids that come in from all walks of life and all nationalities and religious backgrounds and not. Okay, we have kids that are agnostic, atheist, and you name the religion. That's irrelevant to us when they come in. We want to show them love. And ultimately, if it leads to, questioning our faith and questioning our Christian mission, look, we're there to answer those questions. But the reality is we're a ministry to everyone. We open our doors for every single person to come in so that they can feel genuine love and genuine care. Our mission is providing hope to the next generation ultimately. And so what does that hope look like for you? Well, it's different for everyone. And so we have to get to know you to provide that need.
Very nice. Very nice. I think that might be a misconception, that you have to be a Christian young person to participate there. And you were so eloquent just then. I can't imagine that there is any reason any young person should not come. What's the hardest thing about your job at Rocketown?
I think the hardest thing about my job specifically is changing the perception of who we are. A lot of people might think we're just a concert venue. In fact, a lot of adults who may have gone to a concert when they were in high school or college that didn't actually come into the after-school program, didn't see what we were doing by way of ministry. They may just see that this is a great venue downtown, it's fun, it's geared towards young people, but they don't really get to know who we are. And so that's the difficult part, is really sharing that with folks. And so when they come into the building, getting them to understand that we are in fact a ministry. Our focus is on kids and reaching out to them and getting them in the building, develop relationships with them, finding out what their needs may be, and then hopefully addressing those needs. And so that doesn't take place in the context of a concert typically. I will say that we do staff concerts with ministry staff. And so it's fairly common. I'm sure you would recognize this with, if you're around high school students any length of time, there can be some drama. And so in those situations where there might be maybe an argument, occasionally someone will break down in tears and they run into the bathroom, well, we try to recognize those situations and we'll send staff in and meet with them and talk to them about what's going on and minister to them. I mean, in some cases we'll pray with them right there in the bathroom and connect with them, and we invite them back. And so we're like, man, you need to come here after school and just connect with us. One of the areas that we've started to focus on is counseling. We have 2 master's level counselors on staff every single day. And so when we're meeting with kids, there may be a situation that comes up that we don't feel qualified to address. Well, we send them to the counselor and say, hey, go meet with them and just have a chat and see how it goes.
It's not easy to be a teenager.
It's not. It's not. It's you know, I think a lot of times we take it for granted, the things that kids are exposed to today, and the tough situations, and everything from cyberbullying, which didn't exist 15, 20 years ago, and that's something that's a real...
We just got picked on in the hall. Now
Absolutely.
It's public to the entire world if you're picked on.
Right, and so say you get picked on in the hall, it's pretty obvious. Other people are going to see it. Cyberbullying can take place on a phone that no one ever sees. And so they internalize those pains and struggles and difficulties, and it's real, and it's something that fortunately we're there to be able to address. I will say it takes pulling out of kids. You know, they don't want to admit that they're being picked on.
Sure.
And the reality is it happens to a lot of kids that you wouldn't expect. And so that only happens through relational connections, and there's got to be some honest feedback, and there has to be trust. And so when I say we're a relational ministry, that's exactly what we are. We develop with kids. We try to develop a level of trust with them so they can open up to us so that we can minister to those needs.
If a teenager is watching us right now and they've never been to Rocketown before, because maybe they had some preconceptions about what it was or what it wasn't, let's describe what it would be like if they showed up tomorrow afternoon after school. What would happen? A new person walking in the door, a new teenager.
Right, so they'd show up, and immediately a staff person should connect with them. They're going to see kids interacting with adults, young adults mainly. Most of our staff are young, and so they can relate to them and connect with them, and they're not going to look like traditional teachers. You know, that's by design. I mean, our staff are going to be wearing clothes that every high school student would wear, and they're going to have long hair and maybe have nose piercings and tattoos and you name it. And that's really, it's not by design that we, you know, it's a requirement that you have to be tatted up and have piercings, but we don't shy away from them. You know, as long as they have a heart for the kids and they understand the mission, we want staff that can relate to kids. And so if you're a kid walking in a facility, you're going to walk in and you're going to experience a warm environment. You're going to see the coffee bar, and there's going to be a lot of energy going on. There's going to be kids cutting up, laughing, and having a good time. Some are going to be focused on academics. Some are going to be focused on their music. But you know, you're going to be approached by someone who's going to try and let you know that you're a part. You know, we use the phrase at Rocketown that, you know, we don't have members. You're not a paid participant. We're family. And so we want everyone to feel that when you walk in, that we're going to connect with you on a deep level. We want you to know that you're cared for.
Even shy people.
Even shy people, especially shy people. Some of our staff are very shy. Now they have to come out of that and connect with kids, but the reality is that's who they are. And so it's great because they can relate to kids and say, look, I may have been that kid. I was picked on too. Or, you know, we don't expect everyone to walk in and just say, this is incredible, this is the place for me. That does happen occasionally, but we do want them to develop a friendship with other people there, and so that they feel like, you know what, I can be a part of this.
Let's talk about funding for a moment. You know that stations like NECAT, by federal law, we're not allowed to have you solicit donations on your own behalf. And of course, every nonprofit needs funding, but other than money to keep the doors open, what could a viewer do to help you in your endeavors?
Right, and so we are a nonprofit, right? And we raise a lot of money to do what we do. But I will say, for our donors, for instance, we want donors that are passionate about the ministry. So we don't like people to just write checks and cast it away, right? We want them to come in and experience it. We invite them to volunteer with us. And so when you ask about needs that we have, it's volunteer-based.
Nice.
We're a volunteer-led organization, and so we have people that come in and work in the sound studio. So if they're in the music industry and they just want to give back, we invite you, come give back in that way, because it's great when kids have artists that are living on their dream. You know, that's what they're aspiring to, and they can have someone come in, even if it's a studio musician. They don't have to be a well-known person in the city or in the music scene. But if it's somebody who does that, maybe somebody playing in the symphony who can come in and sit down with a kid and explain how they got to where they are, that would be incredible for us. And so we welcome those type volunteers to come in and share their gifts and talents. And so that, as well as artists. So with the art studio, we have staff people that help, but we also have artists that come in and share their talents. And so there's lots of ways. Skaters, for instance, we have skate camps. We have staff that teach skate lessons. We also have volunteers that participate in that. And so, you know, everything that we do, whether you're paid or a volunteer, we consider you part of our staff team. And so we invite people to come in, get to know who we are. And if there's a ministry desire that you have, an itch that needs scratching, we hope that we can meet that.
We have one last segment, and I have to say it is my favorite segment of almost every shoot that we do. It's the speed round of questions.
All
It's
right.
the same game as when we were kids. I'll ask you a question, and the first thing that flies into your mind, just let it out your mouth, and we'll go on to the next one.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yes, I guess. New to me, so all right.
Okay, here we go. Speed round with Kenny Alonso. What letter is missing in your organization's name, Rocketown?
The second T.
Can you ride a skateboard?
Yes.
Is there any reason a young person should not walk through the front doors of Rocketown?
No.
What word do you say more than any other word at work?
Please.
Have you learned any new slang from your teenagers?
No.
Something for today, perhaps. What's the best thing about your job?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a
It
great
is
place
fun.
to work. Yeah.
And so it's barely a job if it's they say if you love what you do, it's not a job, something like that.
That's right. Right.
What's the hardest thing about your job?
Misperceptions from the past.
What mark do you want Rocketown to make on the world?
We'd like to grow and impact more and more kids.
Nice. And last of all, what is your website?
It is rocketown.org.
Thank you, Kenny, so much.
It's our Nashville.